Good morning, beautiful people. It is Friday, May 1st, also known as the $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway. This has been in the works for at least 7 minutes. What will happen is this. When you call 1-833-622-3331, you will talk to at Boston Connor, who's currently dressed up like a cowboy down there. Is that what's that McConaughey movie where he's selling that stuff down there?
Dallas Buyers Club.
Is that what you are right now?
Looks like it.
I mean, I don't want to associate myself with certain type of things, but yeah, I could have been in that movie for sure.
Were you a cowboy? Are you a cowboy?
I might be a cowboy. I might just be another Texan. Just looking forward to getting back outside today now that we have our stay-at-home lifted.
Oh, so this is in celebration of Texas being able to go outside if they please today.
Yes, sir.
How's it going? Do you feel a little bit of freedom? Did you get a little freedom boner whenever you walked outside your front door and you had your sunglasses on, your cowboy hat, I assume a couple guns, and then you said, you know what? Let's live a little bit. Here's a taste of freedom.
Hopped in my trailer, start driving all over Texas. I got both my guns, like you said. I'm going to go get on my tractor later. I feel great being back outside.
Now, here's a question that the rest of America has for Texas.
What's that now?
Now, I'm sure Texas is pumped that you're representing them right now, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
What happens if that thing just starts yodeling, 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 yodeling on the COVID-19 thing? Well, how do you think Texas will respond to that?
You're talking about the curve, sir?
Yeah, I'm talking about I'm talking about the curve, yeah.
If the curve starts going up, Texas is not going to be good. But if we have to, we'll just shoot that son of a bitch right
Sound like you're from just somewhere south of Virginia.
Well, he was in Virginia a couple of days ago.
My cousin is from Virginia, so his accent does shine through.
Now, what happens, though, how much of a celebration will it be for you Texans if the curve continues to go down whenever people are out and about and there's no more? How happy will you guys be down there if that's the case?
Well, we'll be happier than a pig in crap, just like everybody else if we get through this thing. And instead of shooting the virus, we'll just lift our guns right in the air and just pop, 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 let one off right up into the sky.
Well, that was 3, but I respect.
3 off.
Yeah, 3 off.
3 off into the sky, sorry.
All right, so whenever you call in and talk to that guy, he might ask you for your email. And the reason why he might be asking for your email is because you might be winning $1,000 on today's show. So what will happen is you call in. You get put on hold. I will answer a phone call. It's a phonathon, so there will be more phone calls today than there has been in the past. Is that because there's not really much to talk about? Bingo. That is 100% accurate. So whenever you call in, you have a question, you have a topic, you have an opinion, something of that nature. The crowd will immediately vote in the room whether it was a good call or a bad call. If it's a good call, you are immediately entered into the drawing for $1,000 that we will do at the end of the show. We have this little wheel thing that spins and has 20 balls inside of it. It'll be randomly selected. And if you are that selection, you will win $1,000 American dollars. Woo! 2 phone callers that I think will probably get the good thumbs up is Josh Sitton, who's joining us in 36 minutes, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, legend, chugged some beers on Lambeau Field this past year. And in the second hour, Michael Lombardi to talk about all things draft and his reactions 1 week out from Jordan Love being the number 1 pick for the Green Bay Packers, who have 7,000 holes on that team. And Aaron Rodgers says, hey, chill, brah, everything's good. Don't worry about it. And by the way, if that's what Aaron Rodgers said, I'll follow his lead. All good. They still screwed him by not making the team better. We'll talk to him. So, one news sports story was trending today. That was Cole Beasley of the Buffalo Bills. By the way, Cole Beasley, incredible rapper. Incredible rapper. When Cole Beasley puts out a song, you know it's going to be a slap. You know it's going to be a banger. You used to be able to have that type of anticipation for like a Drake album, and then the Drake album comes out, and it's just not for me. That album's not for me.
Done.
I understand that Drake is single and all of his boys hang out with him all the time and he's probably living a great life. So if you're that guy, your friends are probably telling you, hey, let's make songs for the ladies, okay? So whenever we go to different cities and arenas, we have a great time. That's what Drake has done. I just once we get back to the motto, you know? Like I wish we get a slapper, but hey, he's not making music for me anymore. So maybe I have to move on as well and realize that. But I forget how I got on that entire – Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, whenever he was at the Dallas Cowboys, he was number 11. Whenever Cole Beasley was in college, he was the number 11. When he was in high school, in his senior year, he was the number 11. So then whenever he ended up on the Buffalo Bills, he couldn't do that because Zay
Jones,
another wide receiver, had the number 11. So Cole Beasley said, hey, no big deal. I'm not paying for the number 11. I love it. I've had it in Dallas, in college, in high school. But I'll take number 10. I am a team guy. Zay Jones, now gone to the Raiders, and Cole Beasley said, hey, give me the double ones on my chest. I'm back to number 11. Cole Beasley is a very underappreciated, underrated wide receiver and rapper. Now he's wearing 11s. Is this him saying, you know what? Maybe I was good last year, but I'm going to get back to the old Cole Beasley. I'm going to get back to the guy that's going to go to the grindstone. I'm going to be the guy that's going to take this Bills Mafia not only through tables, and not only with dildos on the field, and not only with snowstorms in the middle of the season. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills to the top on my back because I'm going back to number 11. And that's why it's trending news in the middle of a quarantine that a guy changed his one number from 10 to 11, because Cole Beasley is about to mount up. And when he gets going, look out, especially in the AFC East with no Tom Brady.
I wasn't sure who I was going to put my money on the AFC. That just sealed it. That just sealed it.
Look, imagine the confidence. I think he just had his best year to date. And he's like, you know
year.
what? I'm going to go one up next year. Okay? And then if he has a great year this year, by the way, maybe he goes, yeah, I had this number in with the Cowboys and in college and high school, but I'm going to go to 12 because I'm going to have to one up it again. And then he has another one. He's like, you know what? I'm going to skip 13 because it's like a hotel.
Yep.
I don't want that. I'm going straight to 14. We're going straight to the top. That's what Cole Beasley does. That was the number one trending story for sports this morning. And that's the world we're living in.
Do you think Josh Allen called and congratulated him?
I guarantee it.
Better.
He's a leader.
Hey, if he didn't, by the way, now we got to question Josh Allen's leadership.
Yeah.
Now we got to wonder, does Josh Allen really want his wide receivers to succeed and feel good? If he did not text him and congratulate him from going 10 to 11 in this year, in this time, with this mind frame, is Josh Allen even somebody you want as your quarterback? That's the question you have to ask.
Can you
raises a good question.
Can you guys guess what year Cole Beasley's going into in the NFL?
8.
That's 9. I was going to guess 4. I did not realize
He
Cole
was-
Beasley's been around that long.
Yeah, he was a special teams monster, too. He was their number one wide receiver until Amari Cooper came to Dallas. That's a factual statement right there. He was the number one wide receiver in Dallas until Amari Cooper came. That's why the Amari Cooper signing was so large, because they could bury Cole Beasley, which you shouldn't do, because when you give Cole Beasley an opportunity, he's the guy. And now he's taking it up another level, back to his roots, back to the number 11. And that's why this sports show is the best.
Yep.
Nobody could give you that passionate and researched and well thought out of a take on something that minuscule that is currently the number one trending story in sports. Shall we get to the $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway?
Let's do it.
The first contestant to potentially get into the drawing is Trent in Denver, Colorado. Trent, what do you got?
Hey, Pat, how you guys doing?
Not too shabby. Can't be doing that every call. You're the first
question
call.
I have is it a make or break year for Derek Carr? He has multiple new receivers. He has developing receivers. He has a good center with chemistry. Is he done if he doesn't make it this year?
That's interesting, because I think the concept was there, but always, is he a good call or not?
It's a good topic.
Yeah.
Good topic.
Good topic, but the
energy.
Yeah, the energy was kind of low, but he is in Denver, so let's assume he's on a lot.
It wasn't bad,
little
so by
early in the
default, I
morning.
guess it would be.
So he's in? That guy's in? Who's writing these down?
It's early in Denver, too.
Zito, you got it? So Trent is in Denver, Colorado. Congratulations to him. He's the first one in the drawing. I do believe this is the last chance for Derek Carr with the Raiders. I don't know if he'll get signed somewhere else. You know, Tannehill didn't have as much success as he probably thought he would, or how much everybody else thought he would have. But he obviously got signed to the Titans. Now he's making $100 million. Derek Carr has been a good football player. He's won some games. But for some reason, the only narrative out of the Raiders camp is that John Gruden hates Derek Carr. And I don't think ever said that publicly. I think he said, no, I love Derek, man. And I think Derek Carr said the same thing. But it always feels as if the narrative is that those two don't get along. And it doesn't make much sense to me. But they bring in Mariota. They pay him $8 million. I would assume that everybody says Gruden's favorite quarterback is his next quarterback. You think he's going to bring somebody else in, or if Derek Carr doesn't win here?
I would assume that if the Carolina Panthers did not screw Cam Newton, that the Las Vegas Raiders would have picked up Cam Newton instead of Marcus Mariota, and Cam would have beat out Derek Carr for that job.
Carolina Panthers screwed Cam Newton out of a quarterback competition with Derek Carr in Las Vegas. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
I do believe the timing of the Cam Newton release was very interesting. We talked to Tom Telesco, and we said, hey, in a situation like this where everybody knows he's probably going to get cut, and they say that you can get traded, who's really going to pull the trigger on the trade? And he said, well, if you really want him, you go and get him. But if it's something you're like, I don't know if I want to compete for that person. I mean, it's just... They did screw him. After three quarterbacks were signed, not a lot of spots were open. Right before the draft, where a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, it was very interesting what the Panthers did to him. Very interesting.
The Raiders are in a tough spot, too, because they have the Chiefs in their division. So, I mean, like, Derek Carr is kind of, I mean, I guess they could get in as, like, a wild card team, but they're not, I don't think they're winning anything.
Let's go to Luke. And by the way, that Chiefs team is not slowing down.
No.
They're only speeding up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the Chargers and Broncos are terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Drew Lock, by the way, out there with the Broncos and Chargers, Tyrod Taylor or Air Bear about to get loose. The Chargers just brought somebody in to coach Herbert, didn't they?
Yes, Pep.
Pep Hamilton, yeah, I think that's a great signing. I think that's a really good signing, especially if Herbert's supposed to be this brainiac like everybody says. Let's go to Luke over there in Salt Lake City. Congrats to Trent getting in.
Hey, Pat, how are we doing today?
Not too shabby. How are you? Can't do it every time.
I'm doing fantastic. All right.
Can't do it.
Billy O. Stooge. Okay, no one is talking about how great Billy O. Stooge is. He took a stand and realized the Astros got away scot-free and decided to trade away the best wide receiver in the NFC as a punishment for Houston.
Okay. Very valid point there. That's the whole thing. Like, hey, karma comes back to get you. I will do the justice if the MLB won't. Houston cheated, won a World Series, no punishment because Rob Manfred called it a piece of metal. Now, Billy O. Stooge, who has very high moral obligations to, if he sees something wrong, to have swift justice in his eyes, he decides to punish the entire city of Houston because the World Series punishment didn't happen by trading away his best player, one of his best players. I guess I can respect that.
Stand-up guy?
That is a stand-up guy. That is something that we should maybe pay a little bit more respect to, that whole fact.
Was it Blake from Utah?
That was Luke from Salt Lake City.
Hey, look at Zito.
Not bad.
By the way, at Ty Schmidt's here, Tone Diggs is here, at Nick Ronaldo's here, Evan Foxy's here, Jason McAfee's here, and the guy that's embarrassing all of Texas is still on the phones.
Not embarrassing anyone, so I'm from down there.
What, you smoked your cigarette there? You burned through it?
No, I still got it right here. Don't you worry, it's just sitting here.
All right, we got to get one more call here before the break. Let's go to Drake
Oh, no.
in South Bend, Indiana. Drake, really thought you were going to put out a banger or two, but I understand your method. I understand your business. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, man, I just want to ask if you thought the Pats are more likely to stick with Sitton or end up with Cam Newton or Andy Dalton.
I don't think Cam Newton's going to New England. That has come out on numerous occasions that the New England – are we interested in that? Yeah, that's good. It's not bad. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was very ugh.
That's straight.
What if
That's
you could
the
get
topic. That's the precedent we're going to have to set because that was kind of a cherry pick.
it was kind of a bad one, but he got right to it, though.
There's going to be worse
Right.
ones than that.
But he got right to it, though, too.
True.
Which I appreciate. Which I wish the rapper Drake would do.
Yes.
To just get straight to it. I was so bummed listening to that album this morning.
Terrible.
I might not even do it now.
Well, it's not for us.
Don't.
He's not singing for us. He's singing so he can fill up an arena filled with 20,000, and it's just going to be all ladies.
Yeah.
He's done that the last 5 albums.
Well,
It's not, it's not an official studio album.
Oh,
Give him
okay.
a
I'm
chance.
sure he
This
didn't do it in
summer,
the
he's
studio.
dropping a real one. This was just a feeler.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
it feels
Well,
stupid.
I'll tell you how I
14
feel.
song feeler.
You want to know?
Give me a break.
What did that guy even ask? Oh, the Patriots. I think Andy Dalton's a much more likely situation than Cam Newton, but I think Andy Dalton potentially is heading to the Jaguars unless what Doug Marrone said about the entire situation, that Minshew's his guy. Diggs has a feeling, and I assume a lot of people are thinking this, are the Jacksonville Jaguars doing what the Miami Dolphins wanted to do last year? And what a team I was on successfully ended up doing to get Andrew Luck. Are the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes already at this point? Or do they truly believe that Gardner Minshew is their quarterback? Do they truly believe that Gardner Minshew's ceiling is higher than whatever Cam Newton could be? Because Cam Newton could still play for another 4 or 5 years if he wanted to at a level. Do the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just shipped Nick Foles out of town after Nick Foles got hurt, a couple games after signing an $80 million contract, they go all in on Minshew mania. I respect it. I think it's a good business decision. You got a lot of people wearing jorts, mustaches, headband, bandanas, and everything like that down there. Jacksonville has really bought into the Minshew mania. But is Gardner Minshew going to take you to a Super Bowl caliber team? I guess that's to be determined, but it feels as if they are trying to get another good pick or
I mean,
so.
it seems like they're doing exactly what the Dolphins did last year. I mean, like Ramsey's out, Boye's out, Marquise Lee's out, Foles gone, Calais Campbell gone, and Ngakwe's probably going to be gone. Fournette's probably going to be gone.
Duval. How about Gardner Minshew?
They're gathering draft picks.
Gardner Minshew is like, yeah, I'm your guy, but man, I'm going to die next year.
They're kind of just hanging him out to dry.
He's going to end up in a bad spot. If he doesn't have success, what's that mean? Everybody's going to bury Gardner Minshew. And it's like, well, it's not 100% Gardner Minshew's fault. They literally,
it's not
they shipped every talented football player out of town as fast as they could. Leonard Fournette, is he just going to walk back in the building after knowing that he's been drawn trade block? How about Ngakoue? Is that thing ever going to settle after he got into a Twitter spat with the owner? Jacksonville's running an awesome operation down there. Just a reality television show. And they got 2 pools in the stadium. I mean, there's so much that could happen. They got a couple games overseas. They got pools in the thing. They're shipping out all that. That is a reality show. That should be being filmed right now about all the backdoor decisions and the behind closed doors decisions, let alone the fact Tony Khan's running a wrestling promotion while he's doing all this. I mean, there is so much to be, unfolded down there with the Jaguars.
They're going to be bad. They're going to be bad.
What if Gardner Minshew becomes Duck Hodges and just starts winning games even though he's not supposed to win some of those games? Quack, 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 quack. What if that happens?
Hats off.
Hats off. He's got Phillip Rivers, Deshaun Watson, and Ryan Tannehill in the AFC South. Minshew Mania could run wild. 16 minutes after the hour, we have to get to a radio break. We are, 3 callers in?
Yep.
We'll continue the phonathon during the break. This is a heater. I don't want us to ruin it. Like, imagine if this would have been
I know.
with.
Perfect.
You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show. All right, here we go. Sean in Toledo, Ohio. Sean, what's going on, pal?
Oh, not much, Pat. How's it going on this good $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway?
All right, yeah, you're pretty good. I didn't even remember the name of it there until you started going. That's pretty good. I feel good. I hope the same for you, pal.
Definitely. I'm just calling in. I want to know what you think of getting Big Ben back in the mix. Steelers getting back, taking over the AFC North. They got a little defensive insight from picking up Warren Lee from the Ravens. You think the Steelers can go all the way back and win the NFC North this year?
He was so. All right, Sean. Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to drop the Warren Leaf line about getting some inside information on defense?
Who the hell is Warren Lee?
Warren Lee?
Warmly. He was the
Warmly,
D
I thought.
tackle who they picked up from Baltimore specifically just to get insight on the Ravens.
He gave his best effort there early, though, right? I mean, he gave the name of the show.
Yeah, took a major shot with that because if he botches that, he's instantly gone.
That is, you're dangling on the edge,
You
my
are.
friend. Hey, I've been watching a lot of those fucking parkour Instagram videos.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting in. I am
Adrenaline.
I am very close to jumping off a bridge this weekend.
Parkour.
Is that what they do?
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, dude, they do this run thing.
Well, no, I know what they do, but
They
off
do
of
this, hold on,
bridges?
they do this run jump thing where they use their hands like legs, and then they do like a shooting star press off of it. I mean, I've seen some videos where I'm like, I need to go do that stat.
Immediately when you say jump off a bridge, I picture going into water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were in Atlanta,
I parkoured,
Yeah,
I
Tony.
parkoured in Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, you hurt your foot.
I did.
You weren't ready for the game yet. I don't know if I'm ready yet either. There's some of these fucking extreme walkers on the internet though that get after it. There's dudes over in LA right now. I think I might be one of the only people that follow them. They have a very small amount of followers. I kind of feel like they notice that I'm following them. They have like a trampoline in the backyard. They go off the trampoline from Cirque du Soleil onto the fucking roof, and then they do these wild flips into the pool. And then there's like another. I mean, it's a full Cirque du Soleil show in these motherfuckers' backyard. It is insanity. I'm like, I'm pretty good on trampoline. I got a trampoline in my backyard. Why am I not putting that up near my pool? I could go up on my roof off of that thing. That's where my thoughts have been the last couple of days watching
Yeah,
this.
you should. Invite us over. We'll all jump in the pool, have a good time.
Pool isn't open yet.
They make really good thieves.
Pool isn't open yet. What's that?
They make really good thieves.
Who, parkours?
Yeah.
These sons of bitches are
Good
some
luck
of the
catching
most
them.
Bro, and then they obviously do that insane shit where they hang on like the metal
edges
beams
and,
that are
yeah.
all the way out there.
Running up the side of buildings.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. You trust your fingers, but what if that fucking beam was put in by somebody that didn't know a 180-pound person was going to be up there hanging?
Good point.
How about the fucking cleaners, the window cleaners?
That was wild.
Oh, man.
Swaying in
On
the
Complex,
wind.
just get makes you feel alive. I bet.
How'd they get up there?
That dangling on what? Who? The cleaners?
The cleaners, how'd they get up there with all the wind?
There's a pulley system.
Yeah. It wasn't windy when they went up there.
We gotta remember
Jay
that
was disgusted
Check
right
the
there. That
Doppler.
Connor asked that question. I've never seen Jay. He hasn't said anything, obviously, but his face,
You know-
utter disgust in his
You know,
face.
CFO Phil used to clean the side of buildings.
Really?
Yeah, he used to be out there fucking dangling, cleaning the windows.
What a champion.
In I think it was summer during college, he would do that. I'm like, hey, I'm coming back to Pittsburgh. What do you got going on? I got to clean some windows, and he sends me a picture. He's fucking 30 stories up, just
for him.
dangling like Spider-Man. I'm like, what are you doing out there? They pay good, he said. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
lucky-
Nobody's.
It's lucky Brian Kelly wasn't the foreman.
Jesus.
I had to. I mean, it's right there.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Friday, May 1st, the $1,000 phonathon. Feel Good Friday giveaway. I'm dying. We had one more person join the drawing during the commercial break. We didn't talk about what he asked about, but we enjoyed his lack of energy, but he got to the I mean, I don't know how he got in. It feels like we're just going to let everybody in at this point.
He gave the entire name of the day. I mean, that is really what got him in.
He
Yeah.
talked about Steelers. That's big points in our book.
Yeah, well, Alex in Connecticut, what's going on, bub?
McAfee, man, what is going on this morning? I'm so excited to be on the show, man. I just gotta say I'm a big fan. I've been a big Colts fan since I was a baby, but we'll keep it short and sweet. I just got a couple questions. One about the defense coming up. A lot of trades being made and a lot of people being signed up. I was just wondering what you thought with the way the direction's going and how hardcore that trench is, how they're going to be. And two, was Jacob Eason really having that issue that was going on in the back room, or was that just a little, I guess, social media?
I stopped paying attention. Yeah, he's in, but I mean, because everybody is. As soon as he started complimenting the show, Diggs gives a look of, yeah, I like this guy. And literally, Ty and Nick gave the biggest thumbs down I've ever seen in my entire life. Nick and Ty, not going to smooze them for their votes. Diggs, 1,000%.
Easily.
What did he ask about?
Eason coming out of the room with the girl during the draft. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see
She was
that.
just shoveled.
Yeah, he had his shirt off, and she was fixing her hair.
Now, okay,
Online.
Eason's the Washington quarterback that is now with the Colts?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm happy that because that actually feeds into the narrative that they were spinning about him. He had character questions and work ethic questions. That to me made it sound like he liked to party. So it sounds like Jacob Eason likes to party. He likes to have a good time. Because they kept saying the reason why he wasn't getting drafted because there was questions about off the field stuff. So the fact that he not only in the middle of the draft now comes out of a bedroom disheveled, and now he gets to be with Phillip Rivers. He seems like he's a guy that if he can find out he can make a lot of money and dial it in, he's big, he's fast, and he can throw the ball forever. That looks like the old school prototypical quarterback, by the way, is what he looked like. I don't know how he'll do and fare with the Colts, but it feels like Phil Rivers is probably a good guy. And I don't know. What's that?
I don't know if it was Eason. It was at Eason's house. I'm not sure if it was him coming out of the room or not. That's what.
Oh, so if it was his brother, then the whole family likes to have a good time, which I like even more. I'm a big fan of the Eason thing. I always think the people that try to knock people's off the field stuff whenever they were in college. Now, granted, that's probably because I had a couple minor in possessions, which means that's Morgantown, West Virginia's minor. Underages.
Underage drinking,
So you
yeah.
can they can just collect $50 from you, and they don't have to arrest you and do any work. It's just $50 here. Just feed they get. I had a couple of those, but it's a real thing. Whenever you have a chance to make a living for your family, I think it can sometimes kind of flip a switch. I'm pumped to see what Eason does. We have the video. I don't know if we're allowed to show it. I just saw it on the replay or on the reflection over there.
I
I
texted
don't
it
think
to
you
the
can,
group.
but I don't think that's him though.
Okay, so it wasn't him.
I'll show like the still.
That was real slander by that guy that just did the call. Then
That's the still right there. So those two right
oh,
here.
so that's the brother, obviously.
Yeah, so they came at.
That guy's like
from
5'8".
Yeah.
Yeah, Eason was probably happy for him. By the way, that's a good teammate. That's a guy that I want to have on my draft day. You guys are going to go slip away, have a good time. Don't worry about it. Come back. We got nothing but time over here.
Oh,
What was that?
Nothing. The video stopped.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Sorry.
Did you just have a stroke back here?
Use your words.
What happened back here?
Nothing.
What's going on?
What's going on back here?
Skip on it, yeah.
Did your brain just hit a freeze?
No.
Okay. Let's go to Patrick in Virginia. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
I just wanted to wish you a happy early birthday. I know it's tomorrow, so hope you have a good weekend. Hope you party hard inside your house, I guess. And Clay Matthews, I think it's hilarious that the Rams are not paying him.
Okay.
They're just being spiteful, I guess, he didn't perform up to their expectations last year. I think it's great.
Okay.
And Ty Schmidt, Russell Wilson is a stooge.
This guy knows what he's doing. This guy knows what he
That one's
is
on the
doing.
fence for me.
I don't know what to do here. Because if we benefit
On a
him
pander.
just for wishing me a happy birthday, everybody will do it, and that's not what we're doing.
Was there a question in there?
No, he talked about Clay Matthews not performing up to their standards, so he liked that the Rams didn't pay him, which automatically makes me like, hold on, Patrick. You like that Clay Matthews not getting $2 million because the Rams negotiated a contract and he allegedly didn't live up to your expectations? Get out of here with that.
Company man.
Who, this guy?
Yeah.
He complimented Ty. I mean, that's good news, right? I
Not
mean,
really. He just said Russell Wilson's a stooge.
that had to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, but it's low-hanging fruit.
What do you want from these guys?
Part of the game, Ty?
Maybe some good questions that's going to
Original
drive
thoughts?
conversation on the show.
Original thoughts?
That could be. I mean, that could definitely
He's
be.
in.
You guys are putting him in?
He's in. Get him in there.
You're putting him in?
I'm putting him in.
What was that dude's name?
Patrick. I don't know.
Congrats to Pat. Don't do that, though. Yeah. Don't do what Patrick just did. We can't take that. I mean, this is already getting hard enough to do. We don't need that type of stuff. Let's go to Evan down in Tampa Bay, probably a Gronk and Ear fan. What's up, Evan?
What's up? How's it going, boys?
Not too shabby. How are you, pal?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, I want to ask about Josh Rosen. Is he done in the NFL? Is he a lifetime backup
Somebody go
quarterback
get the
now?
bong for me, please. Well,
We got our first one.
Josh Rosen, yeah, I assume he's done. I mean, let's assume that he is done. He didn't win in Arizona. He didn't win in Miami. He got traded on draft night or whatever. Josh Rosen, probably a guy I'd like to be friends with. He had a hot tub in his dorm, stuff like that. For some reason, it hasn't panned out in the NFL. Maybe it's because he hasn't been in the right situation. Maybe that's the case. Ryan Fitzpatrick down there, maybe it's a problem. But I like Josh Rosen as a person. I'm not 100% sure he's an NFL quarterback. If the XFL starts back up, Josh Rosen, the Rosen one, is the face of your franchise. Probably going to move some tickets, though. I'd buy tickets to go watch that guy play.
Yeah, I mean, and then they draft Tua, so he's done.
Bill, yeah, just leave it there. I don't want to get us kicked off the internet.
Is that call?
That one? Yeah, we're putting everybody through. Remember?
Oh, okay.
That's the name of the game. Chris in Buffalo, what's going on? Unless you slander.
Hey, what's up, Pat? I love the show. I'd like to just say first that I bought a Beasley jersey, number 10, and now I switched, and my broke ass has to buy a new jersey.
No. Just tape.
Yeah.
Just put the tape down on the 0 there.
The one will be bigger than the other one.
Yeah, it might not look perfect, but it'll look perfect for Bill's Mafia, I assume. Matt, think of this. You going off the top of an RV with a Cole Beasley 10 jersey that has a 1 taped over the 0 with that ketchup and mustard. I mean, you're going to be... I can already see you on the internet. Don't have to buy a new one. I don't think Cole Beasley, who's a working man, wants people to spend more money. They just want to he wants people to probably get a little creative, if I had to guess.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. And now my question is, if you were Aaron Rodgers, would you force your way out of Green Bay, or would you stay there and, I guess, help Jordan Love develop?
I understand. That was a good call, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was his name?
Chris in Buffalo. He's going to go. He's going to end up through a table.
I love that he bought a Cole Beasley jersey.
That's what I'm saying.
He should have
awesome.
like a picture of a dildo probably as the other one.
Oh, smart. Get one of them armadillos.
Yes.
He gets a big one. You know what I mean?
You also make a very good point. If you're buying a Bills jersey, that thing is just getting rained on in ketchup and mustard, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter. But the fact that you bought a Cole Beasley jersey, we are all big fans of. I like that guy for sure. And his second question was, should Aaron Rodgers force his way out of Green Bay, or should he try to make Jordan Love better or something like that? I think that is such a weird thing. Because in the NFL, obviously, you're playing for a living. This is actually your living. This is how your kids are probably going to go to school someday. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers has already made like $300 million. He's probably in a good spot forever. And he's at the end of his career, though. He said he sees hole 18. He said he wants to finish these 4 years in Green Bay. And everybody, if the quarterback, not saying Aaron Rodgers isn't, he called Jordan Love night of to congratulate him. I assume Aaron knows that this is not Jordan Love's fault. It's just a situation where the team would have been much more benefited from drafting people to make your team better. But the narrative that the veteran isn't a good teacher to the young person, and that's a bad spin PR for the older player, is so interesting to me, because some players aren't coaches. Like, some players aren't coaches. They're like, hey, we're boys. Like, let me help you out here. This is what I do. Kind of do as I do, not as I say type thing. I think Jordan Love will learn from Aaron Rodgers just by watching him, just like Aaron Rodgers learned from Brett Favre just by watching him. But there's always been this narrative whenever somebody isn't excited to teach the younger player. And it's like, some guys just aren't teachers. Like, some guys, that's just not their thing. They just want to do their job and move forward. And maybe they'll be able to learn by watching. I'm not 100% sure if that's Aaron Rodgers or not. I'm assuming that Aaron Rodgers going to try to help this kid because he's been in a situation very similar to him. But I think Aaron Rodgers ultimately should be disappointed that the team didn't get better, and instead they drafted somebody who's going to play in a few years as opposed to that. But that's not Jordan Love's fault, probably, in Aaron Rodgers' eyes.
Yeah, and if you're an adult, like you said, you could learn by watching. You don't need Aaron to hold your hand. Like, just watch what Aaron does and how Aaron prepares and things like that, and you'll learn enough.
Listen, if I'm one of you rookies, okay, and I see a guy who's been doing it 10 years, 8 years, 13 years, I'm in their hip pocket. I'm just watching, what are you doing to get here? How are you this rich playing a game? And how have you made it this long? That's what you need to do. If you don't do it, you're probably not going to make it. If you do it, probably going to be rich. It's an easy thing. Chuck Pagano.
Smart.
It's real.
Spot on.
You see, like, Mike Adams, who played 16 years in secondary, and you're a rookie corner or rookie safety. It's probably like, all right, let me see what the hell that guy's doing just to see how we can do it. Oh, he's watching film at this time. He's doing this. That's why a lot of people shaped it. Like, I started now. My routine was much different than Vinatieri's my first couple years. Probably should have been doing what Vinatieri was doing my first couple years, but I didn't need it in my eyes. I would just go out and start bombing balls. Vinatieri would have an entire 30, 45-minute warm-up routine. He'd get in the hot tub. He'd get activated. He'd get stretched. He would kick a couple one-steppers with a flat ball, and then he'd get up to a little bit more pumped-up ball. He had this entire routine, and then whenever he was kicking, it was just humming. And that didn't matter if he was kicking 10 balls, 50 balls, or one ball. He was going to do the same routine getting in there, and I always made fun of him. I was like, man, I would be tired by the time you're halfway through warming up. He's like, you'll do it one day. You'll do it one day. And then as I got older, I started getting in the hot tub. I started getting stretched. I started kicking some more balls. And I was like, I probably should have done this when I was younger. And then you think back to everybody whenever you were younger, they're like, you should try to do what the older players do because that's why they're doing it. It's like, yeah, but it's hard to buy into that whenever you're young and feel invincible. Like for me, I could literally wake up out of bed after having, 35 beers and just start kicking 65-yard field goals with one or two warm-up balls. Now, if I was to do that, my entire right half of my body would fall off. And that's just a different animal. It's just a different world now, and that's the case. But I assume Jordan Love will learn from Aaron Rodgers.
I would imagine for these guys, too, any type of this situation, it's impossible for like a ultra-competitive guy to teach his replacement who he knows they got to replace him, like all the tricks of the trade, everything he knows.
Well, it's like Ben Roethlisberger has a bad rep for not wanting to be the teacher or the coach for the younger players. It's like some people just hate teaching people stuff. You ever think about, like, not all football players become coaches because some people hate teaching things. Like A.J. Hawk, for instance, he said, I would never coach, ever. That's not only the time, but also telling somebody, like, are you more of a dick if you say, hey, don't throw the ball like that. Take the ball a little bit deeper behind your ear, plant your feet and turn it a little bit if you're Aaron Rodgers, or just doing your thing and letting somebody watch? Because what's the winning recipe there? Like if Vinatieri came to me and started telling me every little thing to change, I would probably been like, I hate it. Hey, like, listen, bud, you do it your way, I'll do it my. There's no real winning. If somebody wants to paint the narrative as a negative one, it's going to be a negative one anyways,
Well,
right?
and is that the quarterback's job? Like, wouldn't it be the quarterback's coach who the organization wants teaching him like mechanics and stuff like that? If he's going to be the next guy, like, would they put that responsibility on the incumbent quarterback's shoulders?
Like, I think T.Y., right? When T.Y. was young and trying to learn from Reggie, like, he would ask questions. I think Reggie would answer them, but he would watch Reggie most of the time. If Reggie came out and said, well, the way you're running routes is just bad. You got to do this, this, and this. Like, some people would want a veteran to act. Like, don't you think T.Y. would hate him if he did that? At that? I mean, it's just it's a fine balance whenever you're a peer, a starter, and older to somebody. I mean, it's a weird thing. I'm happy I didn't have to do it for an entire season. I don't know how I would have handled the game.
I assume most of the teaching and like most of the beneficial teaching in like the quarterback situation would be in the film room. Like, this is what I'm seeing. This is why I'm doing this.
That's what Jameis said to Drew. What do you got back there?
I mean, Rodgers is showing the guy how to kind of carry himself and go about his work, and in practice too. Like,
well, and right now on Instagram, throwing up shaka.
Oh, yeah.
The loosest shaka I've ever seen.
Yeah. That's how relaxed he is.
Aaron just has his hands wide open like this. He's like, relax. Good vibes, dude. I'm at the top of a mountain somewhere. Yeah, we got to get to a break right now on radio, bro. Relax, bro. Chill, bro. Zo vibes. Zobes. Yeah, you should probably read that. Quick. No. We'll get it on the other side. We got to get to a break right now for radio for Josh Sitton. Josh Sitton, former Green Bay Packer legend, joining us on the other side. You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show.
Clay, there's a lot of talk of some vets that want to find a way to get down to Tampa in so-called ring chase with a little guy named Tom Brady, fresh off the heels of his Howard Stern interview that he was a lot more open than normal. Have you given much thought to what it may look like to strap it up for the Bucs and try to chase another ring?
Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. That crossed my mind. You know, I thought. I mean, I think football is a little more difficult to ring chase. I mean, I know where you're going with this, but ultimately, I mean, his track record says that the Bucs, should be the team to beat in the NFC. So we'll see if there's any interest. I know they've got a stud out there rushing off the edge, but like we talked about earlier, we're just sitting tight, and hopefully something comes about with a quarterback in the likes, or in the same ballpark as Tom, and we can make another run at this.
How does that process go, Clay? Your agent will say, hey, here's some teams that are interested, because you're at a whole different stage now. You said it, you're later in your career. You're going to find a good situation, a winning situation. And I think you were going to say while you were answering, and you didn't say it, you held back, which is smart, obviously, because you're still a shitty contract is what you said. But you were going to say, how does that process look? Your agent will be like, hey, here are some teams we've got interest from. Here are the pros. Here are the cons of each team. Is that how that whole thing will go? Is it more of like a field base?
I think it's. I think first and foremost, the first thing you realize in free agency is all 31 teams are intrigued. They're intrigued with you, but that means nothing. The reality is what team is willing to make an offer. And then once you have an offer on the table, or you agree to, a price you're comfortable with before signing on the dotted line, at least for me, I speak with my father, who's, obviously played in the league and had, some success doing so. I speak with my wife, people close to me, just to, see if it's the right move, because, I would say deep down I know what the right decision is, but I want to get the input of the people closest to me, who are going to be a part of this. I mean, because, my wife picks up the slack during the season with the 3 kids, and, she's up in the middle of the night with the kids, taking them to school, and if we were to go to a new city or state, with no friends or anything along the lines, it makes it more difficult for her. And you got to look at the quality of life and living. And AJ, I know you went to Cincinnati, after Green Bay, and I have to think, a large part of that was to be closer to home, growing up in Columbus, right? Dublin, somewhere around there.
Yeah. They stink. Don't go to Cincinnati, Clay.
Well, I was speaking on behalf of AJ. But,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know.
All right, okay.
Let's get it. Let's go. Dream house is a tour bus. Scream loud that you knew us. Deep down, I'm the new plug. You ain't about to get too dust. Pete's brown when they crew scrubs. Sweet sound from the two subs. Beats loud as a move, bruh. Lead the crowd like, ooh, what? Long hair on the big body. 210, both sitting shoddy. Crack a bit, start getting rowdy. Blowing nose, looking like an Audi. It's Uncle Sam without the taxes. Crowd stands up, I keep them loud. I made this beat, you hear it smacking? Who is 30? Hand me a nap. You probably wasn't expecting this. What? Expected this?
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I mean, we have some massive news with the person joining us right now, friend of the show, a man who won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers. He signed a contract to retire with the Green Bay Packers. He chugged some beers on Lambeau with TJ Lang. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sitton.
Yeah, Josh. Woo!
Josh, you're wearing a Bears shirt right now. What does that mean? I would like to hear it stat. Oh, he's muted.
I just worked out in this shirt. I don't. It means nothing.
Oh, I thought because the Packers drafted Jordan Love in the first round, you said, you know what? I'm out. I'm now a Bears fan.
Let's not put words in people's mouths, Pat.
Hey, no. You did it when you put the shirt on. I just want to let you know you did it when you put the shirt on, Josh.
How did I know that the first topic we were going to talk about was the drafting of this Love kid?
Josh, because there's nothing else to talk about.
Dude, I have no idea how y'all are doing your jobs right now.
Hey, Josh, I'll tell you what. Wake up every morning, hop in the shower, and all I do is say, okay, I'm going to talk for 4 hours today about absolutely nothing. Let's figure it out. So then when Gunther Kuntz drafts Jordan Love in the first round, whenever there's a lot of need on that Packers team, I'm like, bingo. My brain in that shower is thinking about a lot of things. Cole Beasley just changed his number from 10 to 11. Big news, trending news. Obviously need to talk about that. But Jordan Love being drafted as Aaron Rodgers' replacement when they have a lot of other holes that need to be filled, that's what it all comes down to, Josh. And now you're a Bears fan because of it. So,
Yep, exactly.
What have you been up to?
It's pretty damn interesting though. I'll be excited to see how it plays out. I'm sure Aaron is going to be pretty salty about it. As most competitive people are, he can be pretty salty about those things. We all are when it comes to our jobs, and I feel like he's going to go out and just ball out and kind of shut everybody else up. I don't know. That's my take on it.
Kind of torch the earth type operation, because all you're hearing now is obviously there was a reaction by Packers fans, and then you hear all these experts start pointing out facts and stats about how Aaron isn't the same Aaron he used to be. That could drive you on top of the mountain when you're up there taking pictures for Instagram to think about maybe I go out next year and just dominate everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's I've said it before, but that's how Aaron operates. He for someone that's been on top as long as him, he still finds a way to have a chip on his shoulder. Him dropping to 24th or 25th pick in the draft, he carries that. where the rest of us are like, boo-hoo, I was taken in the 4th round, or or people taken in the 5th round, but he carries that with him, and it's one of the things that drives him to be the best. So he finds ways to be motivated by external factors, and it's why he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to play that position.
He's the man. I have to ask you about this legendary jersey collection that you have behind you on this wall right here. Is this collected after the games, or do you get them shipped to you?
Both. I'd say mostly just asking people outside of like just randomly seeing them at the Pro Bowl or anywhere else. Probably only a handful from after games. I got to get one of yours.
Man, I'll get you a small one to fit up there right above. Who is that? Sitton? That's your. Oh. Yikes! That's on me, pal. The lighting is in the same spot. That's on me. Who's the best interaction you've had out of all those people? Has anybody ever given you any problems when asking for an autograph or a jersey? Obviously not. You're Josh Sitton.
No, Peyton Manning was the best. My buddy got hammered at the Pro Bowl, and he drew. My buddy passed out, and he drew a dick on my buddy's face. So, and the first people we see in the elevator the next morning, all hungover, is Peyton and like his buddy and his wife or something, and my buddy doesn't remember a thing, and I'm just dying laughing. Peyton's dying laughing. It was pretty funny. So I sent him a jersey. I was like, hey, as soon as you drew a dick on my buddy, will you sign a jersey?
You got it, Josh. And did he write on the jersey anything special, or like, hey, good times or something like that? All my best.
Well, I sent him a note and I said, hey, will you write? I got him to sign a jersey for my buddy too. And I said, will you write something about drawing a dick on his face? And he said no. So I thought that would have been funny. But like if he signed it with a dick there, but
would have been awesome. By the way, I think we're not allowed to say the. We were just told in our ear by radio we're not allowed to say the D word. Richard. We're not allowed to say Richard. Obviously.
Richard?
I guess. I don't know.
He signed Richard instead of Peyton. That's his middle name, Peyton Richard Manning.
You know what's interesting, though? And I got to experience this firsthand with him. He's a superstar, right? Absolute superstar, Peyton Manning. He is this. Everybody knows who Peyton Manning is. Ever since he was a child, he's supposed to be a professional football player. I mean, it's just like he is the prototype of what an NFL thing. He owned pizza, insurance. He owned the world, basically. He's on every commercial. And when I met him, he seemed like he somehow maintained like a common person mindset. And it made no sense because he was in this complete different world. And I think that is something that doesn't get talked about enough with old Peyton, is he's a pretty regular dude somehow. I have no idea how. But it's nice drinking a beer, too, with that guy. It's awesome storytelling time.
Yeah, he's super down to earth, super great dude, and yeah, you don't hear those stories about guys like that for sure. But yeah, he's a good time.
How whenever you were with Aaron, and obviously you're now a Bears fan because they drafted Jordan Love in the first round, which is that's a wild move. That's a big time Packer alumni right there. Just go ahead and hopping over to Chicago. We talked to Aaron Jones, who had obviously a breakout year this past year, and he said his first play on the field, Aaron Rodgers told him something along the lines like, "Hey, I'm your biggest fan. Now it's time to show the world basically what we've got to see." Like a little bit of hey, we're in this together thing. And sometimes the narrative is that Aaron's standoffish and things like that. But I feel like every story I've heard legitimately out of the locker room is completely different than that.
Yeah, Aaron, you got to take everything you hear with a grain of salt about Aaron. I thought he was a tremendous leader. I think from when I got there in 2008 to what he kind of became in 2010, 2011, I think one of the biggest differences I saw was his ability to lead. He obviously was becoming physically a lot better player on the field. He could do everything on the field. But I watched him kind of grow into that leadership role. My first year was his first year starting, so he was kind of growing into that. But I saw nothing but great leadership skills, and he's he's like every great. They want the greatest out of the guys around him, and can he be a Richard to people when they're not? Yeah, but that's
great work.
What do you hear about Peyton and Tom Brady yelling at their guys? I mean, everybody does it. You want we all did it. You want the best out of everybody around you. That's what the greats do. And I don't know. I saw him be a great leader all the time. So I hate when I see that negative crap about him.
Me too, because we gotten to meet him, obviously. Not a lot of people get to meet. And I feel like he is guarded maybe with some people that he doesn't know. But every person that's up in that world that Aaron's in is like that, by the way.
Yeah.
You have
absolutely.
to be.
I would hate to live that guy's life and have people on his butt all the time, asking for things. And I mean, I can't imagine. So yeah, you have to be guarded.
Where are you right now? What city do you call home?
Pensacola, Florida.
Man, that house. I mean, I'm just every time you're talking, I'm just kind of looking at the backdrop and aren't you a construction guy too?
Yeah, we do commercial construction though. We built my house too, but that was about it residentially.
Yeah, I was about to say. So you built that house right there.
I mean, I didn't. I just kind of watched. But
Doing good. Doing good. How many properties have you guys built in commercial real estate?
God, I don't know. We've probably got about 10 projects going on right now.
So you're trying to get that like money, like that's commercial real estate is money.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see with this virus going on, how that goes.
Oh yeah, that's 100. I didn't even think about that. Real estate's probably very down right now. That's probably somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a few different things from a few different people, but it's everybody seems to be kind of just taking a back seat right now and waiting to see what happens. So we'll see.
It's a good time to build.
Do what?
Good time to build. Get everybody on the opposite side of that thing. There's going to be a boom right after a bust. There always is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go buy some commercial real estate down there from Sitton Construction. What's the name?
Bear General Contractors, actually.
Oh, so you're a Bears fan, and you named your company after the Chicago Bears because they drafted Jordan Love in the first round, the Green Bay Packers? That's crazy.
We actually just changed the name because of that draft.
Josh, you're the absolute man. I appreciate you so much. Great stories today. You need to come on.
Good luck talking about nothing, guys.
I'll tell you what, I think that Richard story is going to make its rounds a little bit today, and I appreciate that because we'll carry that into next week.
Sorry, Peyton.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sitton. Yeah! Woo! Thank you, man. That house is beautiful.
Yeah. Jeez.
Did you see that?
The walls there.
That wall. He had Marino there, Breeze. I saw some real big names. Manning, obviously. It's great to hear those stories, dude. Mm-hmm. He was a good time. Josh Sitton, what a legend of a man there. Just hanging out down there in Pensacola, building up some malls. Just going to go and live his best life forever, probably.
I can't imagine the number of Peyton stories that are out in the world with like little stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's only with like certain people, you know?
Well, yeah,
because he's literally been just like Aaron. Like when you're that guy, you can't just be friends with it's a very tough position to be in. And everywhere I got a chance to be with him, the amount of people, it became like Elvis Presley. So you had to be like in a back room. You always had to be. It's a very interesting life, yeah. But whenever he starts like feeling comfortable, the stories are amazing. I mean, it's just like,
which is crazy because you have to do that kind of stuff, but it also draws more attention to the fact that that person is there.
Yeah, but with Peyton Manning, because he's so tall, it's like whenever like somebody smaller does it and they don't just stick out, I always question like, well, you're drawing attention to yourself right now with the security around you or like being behind a roped off area. You could probably just go ahead and, no offense, but I think you could probably just go ahead and do your thing. But when Peyton walks in there, his head is just literally above everybody, and you just see a pizza commercial walking by. Everybody's like, hey, that's it. That's a Peyton Manning here. Legend of a dude. I was lucky to be his teammate. I think a lot of people would say that. I mean, they gave Tom Brady all of Gronk's career basically on a play down in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Made the entire career. Basically gave us 3 Super Bowls.
All right.
Well, I mean.
No, it's us now, by the way.
Whoa. It's always been us.
What is your name? So the next hour when I intro you, I could say it.
It's a work in progress, sir. I still don't know.
It's back to.
Oh my! Are you guys word shopping back there?
Well, down here in Texas, it's a little difficult to pick your accent. So,
how many names do we have currently on the list?
9.
9 names on the list. That means 8 names on the list.
Did you add Josh Sitton?
Josh Sitton's on the list.
Yeah, and Josh.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
$1,000. He's building a building in the middle of a quarantine. He needs. I don't know what he needs, but if he wins 1,000, I'm happy for him. So we need 11 callers. One will probably be Michael Lombardi in the second hour. We'll get to those, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Then we'll do YouTube questions before we get back on radio in 6 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show. YouTube. Hello. Oh, my headphones weren't turned up. That's why I didn't hear that. It's a real son of a bitch. Every once in a while, we like dive deep in the comment section on YouTube for YouTube questions. Never got there.
YouTube questions.
That song's a banger. Zito, what do we got, pal?
I got a quick 2 questions for you real quick. Ryan Turner, who would you rather have, Andy Dalton or a 50-year-old Brett Favre?
Say that one more again.
Andy Dalton or a 50-year-old Brett Favre?
Say that first name one more time.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton or a 51-year-old Brett Favre?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what. When I love Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton needs to know that. But when Brett Favre walked into that golf tournament, I thought, you know what? If I had an NFL team and I was starting today, I'm probably picking up that guy. He looks like he's in better shape than he's ever been, and I'm not 100% sure why. I assume he maybe has dabbled in some supplements or something like that. Who knows? Maybe GNC, maybe I have no idea. But he looked incredible. And then you hear about these stories of him driving a ball 370 and 360, and it's like Brett Favre, if he still got that gun at to hell with it, I'll throw a ball anywhere, and he's looking better and more athletic. I got to take Brett Favre, 51 years old.
I'm not so sure you don't take Dalton to play quarterback and Favre to start at middle linebacker. I think he...
That is true. He was, yoked. Brett Favre looked awesome. He looked absolutely awesome. Then you see in those commercials whenever he's slinging the rock in his jeans, he still got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching film of him the other day, throwing to Jerry Rice. He looked great.
Literally. Anybody else, though, I'm taking Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
But 51-year-old Brett Favre, I got to take him. That's just as somebody who I had eyes on him at one point within the last year. Anybody who's had eyes on Brett Favre in the last year says, you know what, Brett Favre probably throw for 50,000 yards in the XFL if he wanted to.
Yeah. Start both ways.
He legit might be defensive end, too, by the end of the year.
Yeah.
He looked incredible.
I've never seen anyone command a presence like that. Like, you walked into the room and everything stopped and just said, even Scottie Pippen was like, yo, is that Brett Favre?
Brett Favre.
And then afterwards, they had like the things that people were supposed to like go, like cocktail hour or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go back to the hotel. just took off.
Yeah, he was on our bus, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, all right, Brett, we'll see you tonight.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
All right, we need 11 calls in this hour so we can run our giveaway. Because remember, this is the $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway. And nobody can say dick on the air anymore.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Richard.
We got a guy named Don who's a hero of our show, and his fingers are only so fast, and we keep ruining.
How about if we talk about Dick Butkus?
Well, Dick Butkus is a guy that honestly is somebody that was drawn on a face. All right, we're back. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3. Good morning, beautiful people. It is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, May 1st. A little bit of a cold open there for the radio, which, by the way, we lead off the first hour with. So that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You are currently listening and watching the $1,000 Phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway, where callers have a chance to win 1,000 American dollars. Woo! 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 We currently have 9 contestants, and they were 9 average calls. We said good calls. We dropped our standards because we appreciate the people that call into this show. 1-833-622-3331. I'm being joined by all the boys wearing a camo hoodie. Nick Moraldo wearing a red 412 hoodie. 412, a company that represents the city of Pittsburgh that the founders went to our high school. Tunde. Ty Schmidt, Jason McAfee, Zito Perez. Somebody did a drawing of you on the internet. Did you see that last night?
Yeah,
It looked amazing.
Honorable.
It was like an animation drawing. It was really good.
Can we pull it up or?
I assume he could. At Evan Foxy's there and on the phones who will be answering if you tried to get in on the $1,000 Phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway. Boston Connor.
It is Boston Connor, but they also call me El Paso Eddie down here in Texas.
Oh, so you're Eddie El Paso down there?
El Paso Eddie, sir.
Oh, okay. Why don't you just do Ed Paso like you're Tampa Bay?
Because that would be stupid, just like Tampa Bay.
You don't like Tampa Bay? Why don't you like Tampa Bay?
I like Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay is, let me just say, stupid.
Okay, so let's talk about Texas. It's currently that's where you're from, right? Texas?
Yes, sir. I live down here in El Paso.
Okay, so
Sounds like the bad guy from Wild Wild West.
he looks like he looks like he's in what's that movie? The
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club potentially.
No,
but
sir.
Yeah, you do look like that.
I'm not in the movie, sir.
Yep, you look like you're potentially in a movie over there.
I appreciate that, sir, but no, I'm not, sir.
Okay, but first day of freedom, if you want to, in Texas.
Oh, it's beautiful.
How's it been going?
Oh, the sky's shining, my tractor's rolling, and my guns are swinging, my friend.
I really hope that they don't just get 7 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be very bad for Texas, obviously, but also for the future of us. But you know what? Somebody had to at some point.
Yeah.
Somebody in Texas was like, "We'll do it." Texas was like, "You know what? We'll do it."
Don't mess with Texas.
If that curve goes down, I don't know a lot about this thing, but if that curve goes down in Texas or stays flat in Texas, I assume you're going to see a lot of other states just turn the switch on and say go. But if that thing starts yodeling, Texas is going to have to. A lot of people are going to have to answer. What's that? You got guns flying back there?
Shoot that son of a bitch right down. It's like we said. That curve goes up, we'll shoot her down.
Michael Lombardi is joining us in 12 minutes. That's going to be something that's going to be studied for probably the next 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
Texas, the Lone Star State, decided to open up their state for business again in the middle of quarantine when nobody else would do it. And the story's either going to go one way or another. I mean, literally, it's going to go one way or another. and then everybody else is going to follow suit.
You're welcome,
Good luck to Texas. Hey, we're pulling for Texas
We
to
are.
get.
Oh, yeah.
We are pulling for success down there, so we can all get back open.
Come on, Texas.
Get your masks on, all right? He doesn't have his mask on, which is kind of questioning, but
I am concealed down in this little tube here.
Let's go to the Rock, Dwayne Johnson in Des Moines, Iowa. What's going on, Rock?
Not a whole lot. Just enjoying this Feel Good Friday.
Hey, I like that. Is your name really Dwayne Johnson?
It is.
Everybody calls you the Rock, yeah?
Yeah, for the most part.
That sounds like a little bit,
a
little bit of a lie.
The
People,
Rock. You don't just come on the show and
do
lie
people
about
in Des Moines, Iowa lie? Is that something?
No, not typically. That's why I'm kind of taken aback right now.
Waterloo, Iowa, close to Des Moines?
No, it's about 2 hours away.
Oh, so
If
liars.
I could show you the ID, I totally would.
Well, no.
We're talking about people calling you the Rock.
I mean, not everyone, but I do get the occasional, hey, are you the Rock? Do you smell what's cooking?
People don't call you the Rock.
So people don't call you the Rock. Like whenever you take a reservation or something, they think the Rock's coming in. You come in and they go, "Oh, are you the Rock?"
Probably goes by Dewey.
What is the nickname? Do you go by DJ?
No, I just Dwayne.
Just Dwayne.
Man, Dewey Johnson is
uneventful.
real strong too.
Dewey Johnson, the Rock, by the way.
DJ would have been
call him
fine.
DJ's also
DJ's good.
Dwayne's not bad though. It's not. Little Dwayne ain't bad there.
Dwayne.
Dwayne. All right, Dwayne. What do you want to talk about, man?
Dwayne Train.
Hit that bitch
First,
with that Dwayne.
I can't wait to hear your stand-up whenever you go do it again.
Me too. I can't wait to see what comes out of my mouth. By the way, we've thought about getting back on the road, seeing people because we haven't been able to interact with anybody, and it's been something that we've been planning and stuff like that. But every time I watch Chappelle and Bill Burr, I get further and further away from attempting to do that. They are just so damn good. Just walk up on that stage and embarrass yourself. See you later. Can't do it. I'll have to put something together. I'll have to dive deep into the vitamins. We'll be on the road, Dwayne. We'll be on. We'll come see you, Dwayne. We'll come see you.
All right.
I'm going to call you the Rock, though.
We can't.
Rock, maybe?
Okay.
You're not going to put him on?
He cannot be on this list.
Are you serious? You want to have a little sanctity? Dwayne's about to get to it right now.
Yeah.
Dwayne's in Des Moines. He's going to get to it right now. Dwayne, what are we talking about?
I'm calling about the second to last pick that the Vikings took. I think after Kirk Cousins' extension is done, hopefully they realize it was a waste of money, and they decide to go full steam with Nate Stanley as the starting QB.
Out of here.
Oh, he's a Nate Stanley guy. Okay.
You like Nate Stanley?
He went to Iowa, but I mean, come on, Dewey.
Come on, Dewey.
DJ. What do you think? You don't want to put him on the list.
He's got to go on the list.
One, he was a liar.
He's an Iowa guy.
He's an Iowa guy. He's one of our guys.
And then he wanted to talk about the Vikings' 6th-round draft pick.
Second to last.
Nate Stanley, best Wonderlic scorer.
Yeah, I think it was maybe was he next to Mr. Irrelevant? Is that why he was the second to last pick of the entire draft, or the Vikings' second to last pick overall?
I believe the Vikings' second to last pick overall. I could be wrong. I did not watch the 7th round of the draft.
He did. I did. By the way, I woke up and I was on. I'm like, all right. And then I woke up at 222, which is where I was picked, and I was like, here we go. This guy's destined for greatness. I couldn't tell you who that guy was right now, though. If I had to Google it, I would have to Google it. But Roger Goodell was done with the M&Ms at that point, so he was about fed up. The draft was about over. Dwayne, we got to put him on the list.
Yep, Dewey's in.
No, I did say I don't love that he is. I don't like that DJ's getting on that list, though. I don't know if he deserves it. Put him on there. He was a little nervous. Let's go to Shuey in Michigan. Shuey, here we go. You got to be better than Dewey.
Dude, Pat, it is Friday. I've had my morning vitamins. I am feeling wonderful.
Attaboy, Shuey. Keep it going. Keep the trains on the track here. Let's go, Shuey.
Okay, man, dude, the draft was freaking great.
Yeah!
Punching Aaron Rodgers in the nuts, no wide receivers, helping out Detroit. And then Detroit, they solidified the offense. I think that, not saying that they're going to be a top 10, but I'm saying top 10 offense. You think after the draft that they could be a top 10 offense?
Great question, Shuey. Great question, Shuey. Put them on there. Shuey, that leads me to this, actually. I'm going to pick who I think is going to win each division right now after the draft. Now, everybody's ranking their teams, their power rankings after the draft. They got the Bucks at 5 and things of that nature. Let me just tell you who's definitely getting into the dance next year because they win their division. Let's start with the NFC North. If Aaron Rodgers is playing, Green Bay Packers. If Aaron Rodgers has scorched the earth, Green Bay Packers. If Aaron Rodgers is upset and hates the franchise, which we do not know, I'm taking the Detroit Lions at plus 700 to win the NFC North. The Detroit Lions get Okuda. They got Matty Stafford back from a broken back. Danny Amendola's been training in his side yard with a robot. I mean, that team is going to win the NFC North. NFC South, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just strictly because I've been on the Gronkaneers the entire time, and I can't get off them now because if I do, then I look like a guy who's a hypocrite, even though I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be very good at football. The NFC West, I got the San Francisco 49ers. The NFC East, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas Cowboys, they don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. Is Dak Prescott going to sign or not? All signs are saying no. I hope he does because it was a lot of fun to watch him last year. Mike McCarthy's offense could be great. I'm just not 100% sure they'll be able to get past the Eagles, who have not one but two quarterbacks now that they're planning on playing. The last time that was, I mean, did that ever happen before? Taysom Hill, he had success. Cordell Stewart, they had success. You get Jalen Hurts on the field, they're going to do some real damage. Then in the AFC East, I got the Miami Dolphins taking it down. The Buffalo Bills will be tied with them maybe. So maybe the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins tying. Patriots see a little bit of a stumble for the first time in like 20 years because they don't know who their quarterback is just yet. AFC North, I'm going to do that one last. AFC South, Colts obviously taking it home. Texans would have gave them problems, but they traded away their best player. Tennessee Titans, I'm not 100% sure they were able to fill up all their free agency. Jacksonville Jaguars, people are saying they're potentially tanking, so I'm not going to pick them. Even though Minshew Mania could run wild on you, brother, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. In the AFC West, the Chiefs. And in the AFC North, Lamar Jackson, fresh off an MVP campaign. Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger back with Tommy Yon looking like Rookie of the Year. The Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield now has an offensive line. They got offensive weapons, and they still got $40 million to spend. The defensive lineman who took somebody else's helmet off and hit him with it is back, and he was potentially a defensive MVP last year. They got Ivy League people running that team. Cincinnati Bengals, they drafted Joe Burrow, got rid of the Ginger Tarzan, Andy Dalton. They spent money in the offseason. Will they be the AFC North champions? No. Will the Baltimore Ravens be the AFC North champions? No. Will the Cleveland Browns be the AFC North champion? No. The Pittsburgh Steelers end up winning the AFC. Steelers almost won the AFC North last year, and they literally had no quarterback. The defense was winning games for them. We went one game against the Buffalo Bills, and they threw 5 interceptions. They still almost won the game because of how good the defense was. I think you get Ben Roethlisberger back out there, they're going to make some things happen.
I thought you were going to go Browns for sure.
Believe me, that's why I skipped over it because I was on the Steelers early there. Just to make you guys happy. I was on the Steelers early. Yeah, and then I was like, the Browns, though, are going to be so good. The Browns are going to be so good. And then I go, AFC South, let me move on. Then I come back to it. I'm surprised I didn't pick the Browns, to be honest with you.
Hey. I
still can.
The way you were talking about them,
I thought you were going Ravens for sure.
Nah.
They're regressing this
year. Well, yeah, I mean, Madden curse.
Baker down there with a loaded 6-shooter?
Not just the Madden curse. I'm talking about a defensive coordinators who get paid millions and millions of dollars to figure out things. They just got an entire season worth of Lamar's best offense. And maybe he will get better, and maybe he'll get more athletic, more explosive, and have a better feel for when he should do whatever. And maybe his throwing, they'll open it up a little bit more. But I just feel like that is an offense that, now granted, all colleges are running it. Some colleges are still having success with it. Maybe it'll be successful regardless. But I think with an offseason, there's going to be some teams that will be able to figure it out a little bit more. I still think Lamar and the Ravens are going to be good. I think they make the playoffs still as maybe a wild card or something like that. But I don't think they're going to win the AFC North. I think people will figure it out.
Tough division.
I could be wrong. Very tough division. The AFC North has gotten very difficult all of a sudden. And the NFC South is awesome. I mean, that is good. And then you go right to the NFC North and you're like, wait a minute, I thought we had Aaron Rodgers doing this whole thing. Until he wanted to at least 4 more years. Kirk Cousins, very good football player after last season, won a playoff game. They get better with Justin Jefferson. Are they going to be the team to beat maybe? That defense is good with Zimmer in there. Are they going to be the team? And then you think about the Detroit Lions, you're like, wait a minute, the Lions, they tied the Arizona Cardinals last year. You know what I mean? They tied the Arizona Cardinals last year.
Matty Stafford was an MVP candidate until his back gave out.
Now, listen, I don't know how often broken backs come back the next year and are good, but if it's anybody, it'll be Matty Stafford. The guy is a human calculator. He's a Rain Man. You saw the math he did on the internet the other day. Absolutely absurd. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, by the way. He did one, and he broke the internet with how smart he was. He should do those a little bit more often, I think, just personally, if I'm talking to that guy.
Yeah.
But I like Matty Stafford. You know what? I like the Lions just strictly because it feels as if in this particular game, whenever you start predicting things, the things that you thought never would happen, and that would be the Lions winning.
It's a good pick, Pat. I've been saying it the whole time. Where next year San Francisco 49ers book the Super Bowl trip right now.
Oh.
All right, we got to get to a break for radio. We got Michael Lombardi joining us on the other side. We have to get to a lot of phone calls.
Oh, I forgot. We're close.
A kid called us 200 times.
Yeah, it stops keeping record, it says on the old log.
Bradley Babcock. That's his name. That's his name.
Put him on the list.
Bradley Babcock is on the list. Guy called 200 times.
Really?
Yeah, put him on the list. So now we're at 10. We need 10 more calls?
Yep.
How do you spell that?
No, because we had Dwayne Johnson and Shuey. That was 11, and Bradley Babcock makes 12.
Dewey and Shuey.
This would be 12 with Babcock.
So Babcock's in. Congrats to the Babcock. He is now in the $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway. Michael Lombardi will be joining us on the other side. He'll probably get in. Who will be the last 7? Who will be the last 7 callers that we will get in after Michael Lombardi? This is the Pat Show. Okay, so I was elected captain a week. We played the Lions up in Detroit, and Vandenbosch was one of the captains for them, and he had red contacts.
Yeah, that's him.
He had red contacts in, and we walked up to each other, right? And I think I'm with like Mathis and some other people. I don't know. I should not have been there. I was just far left or whatever. You know, I'm just on the far left side of it. And I walk in, and we all dap each other up, and then he's there, and I go shake his hands. I look him in the eyes, and I didn't say anything. I just looked him right in the eyes, and he like dapped me up or whatever, gave a fist bump. And I just stared at him for the entire coin toss. Like the ref was talking to whoever was going to talk for us. And I was just looking this guy right in the eyes the whole time. And then as soon as we go to leave, I go, that's wild, man. I just jog off to my side. Like, in those captains' meetings, I've had some incredible electric moments. We played against the Minnesota Vikings, and Adrian Peterson was the captain of Vikings. I was captain of the Colts. There was like 3 other people. We walk out there for this. And the only thing I've heard about Adrian Peterson is how firm, well, I've heard a lot of things about Adrian Peterson. Those aside. But I've heard that Adrian Peterson's handshake is a firm one. Like Adrian Peterson has a firm handshake. It's like this legendary story. So we go out for the coin toss and I see him and I'm like, here we go. And as soon as we go for the handshake, I get in early. I get in because the key to breaking a very stern handshake is you get in early because you got to beat the grip. You got to beat the grip. So he's like kind of casually shaking everybody else's hands. I'm like dapping everybody up like slowly. And I'm like watching him the entire time. And he brings his hand out and I race in to get the netting and your thumb on the thumb. And then I squeeze first, right? So I get like, that's like in arm wrestling when you get the angle on it. So he squeezes back and I give him like a ha-ha, like, right? So while the coin toss is happening, Adrian Peterson looks at me while he's standing on the other side. Neither of us were speaking captains. And he goes, after the coin toss, we're doing another one. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. He goes back. As soon as the coin toss is over, there's another dap up before we run back. And we did this handshake. He got me around too. I'm honest. And that was my drop hand too. That's like my punt drop hand. I thought it was going to be broken. But I was like, those coin toss things, I don't know how you don't shake hands because it's just an awkward situation where you're forced to shake hands almost. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pat McAfee Show here, May 1st. Yikes. Move that piece of paper over that. Joining us now is a man who is a Super Bowl champion. He's been a GM before. He worked in the front office for the Patriots. He worked with the coaches of the Patriots. He literally knows everything about the game inside and out. Been there, done that. Thought he had a couple stooge concepts about Jordan Love getting drafted to the Packers. But ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show, Michael Lombardi.
Thank you, Pat. Again, I'm applying for the campaign manager. I apply. You didn't put that in my credits, but I have an application into your immediate chief of staff. So we'll see how that works out.
Hey, the campaign that you wanted to originally push, I guess, is potentially real again after a report comes out that my name is being circulated in the conversation for Monday Night Football, Mr. Lombardi.
I like it. I mean, I think the New York Post is wired into the ESPN thinking. So when you got in that article, I started to make calls to all contributors all over. We got to get this done. We got to get the campaign up and running. We're not going to be like Hillary Clinton and not visit Wisconsin. I mean, we're going to go there. We're going to go to places, right?
We're on to Wisconsin. Then we're on to Iowa. We got to go everywhere if we really want this. By the way, would be absolutely insane if that happened.
So good. It would be. We need this. This is something we need. I'm tired of telling people, drawing plays. Like, I want to be entertained and watched. I think that's what we all want on Monday Night Football.
Oh, man. That'd be cool. It gets me kind of excited thinking about it, but this is inevitably going to lead to heartbreak, I think. But let's we can fantasize about it for a little bit. But I would like to talk about something that you said a week ago. You said the GM's going to get buried for this, but he thinks it's a good call. You think it's a good call. If he feels as if he's the quarterback of the future, you got to go get that guy. I was listening to you yesterday on Eason, the Lombardi line. 5-6 minutes I listened to it. You were on fire. It was amazing, where you talked about how if you're the GM and you think Jordan Love is the future, you have to go get him. That's why you don't think it's that bad of a pick. But then in the same sentence, basically, you said you're hammering the under because you think that team has a lot of holes in it. If they have a lot of holes in it, why didn't they draft one of the hole, somebody that could fill the hole in that first round, Mr. Lombardi? What am I missing in that whole thing?
I think that's a good question, and I think obviously, that first round pick, no matter who they would have taken, probably wouldn't have filled those holes. But the draft is only really what the most effective thing that the draft brings to the table is that it helps your next year's team.
Okay.
It helps your next year's team. What I think, what I agree with you on is he needs to go out and get it. When Alan Lazard is your second best receiver of your top 5 of the receiver group, you got problems, right? So, okay, the Bears signed Ted Ginn yesterday. That would have been a nice addition for Aaron Rodgers.
Concur.
I think I would have signed Ted Ginn as soon as right before I would have turned the card in for Jordan Love. I would have been out there trying to get as many veteran guys. I would trade for, Kenny Stills. I would try to get somebody. I think there's a lot of options that you can get without having to turn the one in. I think his selection of Love as an entity I liked, but it's got to be combined with other moves. I think that's part of being a general manager. If I want to talk about 2024 or 23, I got to still fix the team in 20. I agree with you on that. But I think you can't ignore that. And that's my point yesterday.
So you think Gutekunst is using the draft to prepare for 2024, 2023. Let's get this guy in our system now. We won't use him for numerous years. But at that position, they could have drafted Patrick Queen, who could potentially get your team over the hump right now with a quarterback who's at 4 years left there. I mean, is that a philosophy thing? Is that what do you think that is?
I think ultimately they graded Jordan Love so high on their board that if they would have taken Patrick Queen, or I think maybe Murray might have been gone by then, but just hypothetically, if they would have gone. So there's 2 boards in the draft, right? You're the vertical board, which is all the players at the position, and then there's the horizontal board, which is all the players as they relate to one another, regardless of position. And so I think what happened was the Packers had Love rated really high. And they had him rated higher than Queen, so they went with that. Now, you can debate the evaluation all that you want, but let's take Atlanta, for example. No one is going to convince me that A.J. Terrell, the corner from Clemson, who's on the ground too much for a corner, was rated higher on their board than CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
You're just not going to tell me that. Like CeeDee Lamb was by far, if we were playing in the backyard, we're going to go play a game, we're going to pick CeeDee Lamb over AJ Terrell every single time, right?
Amen.
Every
On my
time.
board, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the horizontal board. And I think that's ultimately what happened in Green Bay. And look, I think I defend him on the single move. It's like Gruden. When Gruden traded away Amari Cooper and when Gruden traded away Khalil Mack, I defended him. I said, okay, fine. Let him do it. We'll see what his philosophy is. But if he turns around and starts drafting receivers and ignores everything else, I'm off. That's what he did. And it's the same thing with Gutekunst. I'll listen to, I'll support the foresight, but you got to do something to your football team because you were 6-1 in close games. Your point differential was really that of a 9-17 when you compare it. You've got all sorts of holes within your scheme, offensively and defensively. You couldn't get first downs. And when your head coach, LaFleur, goes against really good coordinators in the league, he struggles to attack them. It's just fact. I mean, when he was the coordinator in Tennessee, he was 0 for 10 on third down against Don Martindale. Martindale's not a head coach. LaFleur is. You figure it out, okay? So that's the point.
Okay, so that second round pick is probably one that you're a little bit confused about because they go with the running back where they're already set at the running back position. But if you're preparing for next year or for years down the road, you're like, okay, we got a Jerome Bettis, a big back, big body guy. It still doesn't make any sense. And I think that's what you're saying is I got to see the entire package here.
Right. I think when we evaluate drafts as a single entity, and the job of a GM is 365 days a year, and he's got to work his tail off. I mean, for Chicago to sign Ginn, look, I don't think Ted Ginn's a great player, but I think Ted Ginn, you got to go defend him on the outside, right? You got to say, okay, we're going to roll the coverage to Ted Ginn because he'll run by everybody. That's legitimate speed out there, and I think, to me, this is what he needs to start doing. Is there a trade to be made? Absolutely. Now, here's food for thought, and I hope this doesn't happen. But we could be in a position here where the supplemental draft is going to become really a big-time event.
Explain what the hell a supplemental draft is for somebody who might not know what it is.
So a supplemental draft is for kids that are draft eligible or perhaps not, that apply to the draft. They didn't qualify for the regular draft in April, and there's circumstances that they want to come out early. So they have this thing called the supplemental draft. It was famous when Brian Bosworth came out, Bernie Kosar came out in the supplemental draft. They fulfilled their college eligibility. At that time I think it was 3 years. And now they want to come out and they don't want to wait until the regular draft. So the league, because of collective bargaining, they have to allow a place for the players to come in. So let's just hypothetically say that college football is going to only play 6 games, 7 games. And you're Travis Etienne at Clemson. Are you going to come back and play that little bit of football and risk, or are you going to decide to come out in the supplemental draft?
Oh, wait a minute. That could happen, huh? Because the college football thing feels like it's much further away than the NFL is right now.
No doubt, Pat. No doubt. And I think that's really, if I were running an NFL team right now, it would be no days off. We're going to work our asses off till July 1, and we're going to build a board in July. That board is going to be of all the players who are draft eligible right now. And if the league says, and just get ready for it. And that could be a lifeline to a guy like Gutekunst who could find a receiver that nobody else wanted. I think the league's going to be really careful about this because we don't want to affect college football. But there are rules in place that this draft, and I think this draft is going to come. Let me ask you this. You've been in college. Are you seriously thinking that these kids are paying attention to these online classes?
No chance.
Right. How many kids could potentially flunk out and don't qualify to play next year?
Well, if you're taking at-home tests, you would think you'd be able to Google the answers. But will guys care enough to Google all the answers? Will they put in the maximum effort? I'm not saying everybody wouldn't do it, but if I was in college, there's no chance you're finding me on a damn Zoom right now. There is no chance.
No chance. So I think there's a huge margin, and I'm not saying it's going to be all the top players. Like for example, Travis Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence would not be eligible for this. He would not be because he has to play a third season. It's 3 or more years before you can qualify. You just can't say, I want to come in the supplemental draft.
What's the draft order? Is it the same as the regular draft?
All right, that's a great question. So what happened was because there were players that were trying to manipulate where they went in the draft.
Smart.
Bernie Kosar. So what they did was the supplemental is a ping pong selection. So the Bengals get the most ping pong balls in the tank.
Oh, so it's like NBA lottery.
It's like the NBA, and then the new order comes out.
Oh my! So the supplemental draft was much more electric than the regular draft. It sounds.
And I think this year, and I don't want to be doom and gloom here, but I agree with what you said. I think the college game is further away. And I think because of that, I think there's going to be some kids in college that say, you know what? I made a mistake. Maybe I should have just come out in this draft.
It's happening in basketball with the G League.
And Mike, isn't the supplemental draft like the players will be in there and then they'll ask the teams like, hey, do you want to take any guys in the first round? And then if someone says no, they go to a second round and so on and so forth?
Yep, that's exactly how it is. And then you forfeit your pick the next year in the draft. So essentially you get the player for a year and then you pay for it in the next draft. It's not like you get away. It's not like you get extra picks. So what they do is they'll call you, New England, are you selecting anybody in the supplemental draft? You say no. Okay, we would take Pat McAfee in the second round.
Smart.
Okay,
Smart.
Then you turn that smart. You turn that in, and then you wait and see if somebody takes, like Josh Gordon went in the supplemental draft.
Damn.
Because what happened to Josh Gordon was Josh Gordon flunked out of Baylor, got thrown out of Baylor. He tried to get into Utah, and he got thrown out of Utah. He got in, and then he got thrown out again for marijuana or something off the field. And so now he was a man without a home. He had 3 years of football. He was a man without a home. He applied to the supplemental. The Browns took him in the second.
And the supplemental draft is July 1st. Is that what you said?
Usually it's sometime after Bastille Day is usually the term. Everybody, whenever Bastille Day is. Google that. After the 12th.
Okay, a couple of things I want to get your thoughts on. Charles Robinson of Yahoo stated yesterday that it is widely known that this is probably Drew Brees' last year. That's why they brought Jameis in on a one-year deal. That's why Taysom Hill's deal is basically a one-year deal. They're going to see how this goes, evaluate if Jameis has gotten better, and what if Taysom Hill is the quarterback of the future. What are you thinking is the future of the Saints, and is this Drew Brees' last year, everybody thinking?
I think so. I mean, I don't think you do the TV deal with NBC if you think you're going to play two more, right? I don't think that. I mean, my reaction was I think he wants to go one more year with this team. And I think Sean did exactly what good investors do. They bought stock low. They're going to build the stock back up, Winston, and they're going to see what it goes. Now, the worst thing that will happen to the Saints, let's play this through. Travis, let's say Taysom becomes the starter next year. He's really good this year coming in. Taysom Hill does great. Okay. Winston, plays a little bit. They dress him up. Winston's going to be out there in the free agent market. Maybe he's played enough like Teddy Bridgewater, wherever he goes, his compensatory pick will be worth a third.
Oh, so that's a GM world there.
Right. Now let's play it the other way. Say Brees gets hurt. Don't jinx anybody. Brees gets hurt. Now, let's say Winston has to be the day one starter with Taysom Hill playing his role. Winston goes out and throws for 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Franchise.
Keep him around another year. Here we go. We got another chance to grow with him, and let's see if he's really the guy. So you're thinking that this Jameis Winston signing is a very, very smart move by Sean Payton.
Very smart. It's like what they did with Tommy Stevens in the 7th round. Nobody paid attention to it, but I was complaining about it. They knew the Panthers were going to sign Tommy Stevens after the draft. And yet, so they traded a 6th-round pick next year for a 7th this year so they could get the guy now. So the Saints are really progressed. Sean's got a little bit of that Belichickian thinking down the road with paying for it today.
Well, Sean Payton also said there's no way that guy isn't going to be a Saint or something like that.
He was committed to that guy, and he knew that Joe Brady had the in track with him from his Penn State days. So look, it's a jack of all trade, guys. I mean, we're making so much of the Taysom Hill role. I mean, look, let me ask you. You played a long time. Have you ever seen a guy throw a touchdown pass and then line up next to you when you kick the ball off at L4 or L5?
I had not seen that. I saw Joseph Adai throw a touchdown pass for us, and I think maybe Reggie threw one, but they weren't playing kickoff the next play.
You were out there alone. They were over there shaking land, having everybody. I mean, think about it. Taysom Hill, maybe he doesn't convert the 3rd and 1, and the next thing you know, he's the personal protector on the punt team. People talk like everybody can do this Taysom Hill.
No.
It's like really, really hard to do.
That's just like whenever everybody was like, is Lamar Jackson the next prototypical quarterback? It's like, if another Lamar Jackson comes out, people should sign him. That if another Lamar Jackson comes, you should, just like Taysom Hill. Like, is Taysom Hill going to become a lot of people think Jalen Hurts is potentially going to be a Taysom Hill-like role because Doug Peterson told Sal Paolantonio he's got a unique skill set or something like that. I just don't know how easy that is to plug and play somebody to do what Taysom Hill does. It's not. They tried it with Tim Tebow. It wasn't possible.
Right, and I mean, I don't care. And talk about, you got to have some toughness to go down there and cover that kick. I mean, let's be honest here.
Oh yeah, that's what I did. You know what I mean? That's
I know. I mean, I saw it.
Yeah.
You did it. You know.
Rust Belt guy. I'll run my head into some things. Michael, I can't thank you enough. You're so smart. I appreciate that. I respect the fact too that you're like, listen, I've been a GM before. I've made some decisions that the public hasn't loved. Let's see what all he does before we judge him. I'm going to judge him immediately. I think it was a terrible pick by Gunther Kuntz.
Mike, do you have any thoughts on maybe where Dalton ends up going?
I think Dalton will go to look. If Dalton doesn't sign, if Jacksonville doesn't sign Dalton, Jay Gruden was the reason they drafted him in Cincinnati. If Jacksonville doesn't sign Dalton, take all your money and bet that Jacksonville will have the first pick in the draft because they're tanking for Trevor Lawrence. Like that's going to be a gimme putt, right? Because they're telling you right now if they don't really care. I mean, because who they have on their roster right now is they have Gardner Minshew, love him, nice kid, great, 6th round pick, we'll see. Joshua Dobbs, where are we going with that?
Well, not only Joshua Dobbs, too. They got rid of Ramsey. Ngakwe looks like he's trying to get out. Leonard Fournette's being traded. I mean, it just – you're talking about Boye is gone.
I mean, I'm all in on – now, here's the thing. Whether Trevor Lawrence decides to go back, he could pull Peyton Manning. You know, the Jets had the first pick in the draft, and there was a lot of conversation about Peyton coming out that year, and he didn't.
I didn't know that.
You should call and ask him that question.
Well, yeah. I don't know if he's going to talk to us after
There was a lot of conversation about Peyton coming out that year when he could have been the first pick overall. He went back to Tennessee. That's a story for a book.
Well, he loves Knoxville, and I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Lombardi. Thank you, buddy. Woo! Yeah, Mike. Okay, we got to get to a break on radio. On the other side, well, immediately upon break, at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, we will rattle through 7 more phone calls, and then we'll have to do the lottery thing, which the NFL supplemental draft is, which could be explosive. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll be back on the other side for radio. Is Elon Elon is going ham on Twitter right now.
Oh, is he having a glitch?
I
thought you meant like the cars weren't working or
no,
something.
No,
Elon is glitching.
Is Elon, he just tweeted, in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Then the next tweet says, now give people back their freedom. Then the next one says, Tesla's stock price is too high, in my opinion. And then he says, I am selling almost all physical possessions, will own no house.
Going back to Mars.
What's going on with Elon, bro?
Going back to space.
That stock price is about to, if you have Tesla stock, this is an inside trading.
So.
Get out.
Is that what he's saying?
Well, no. If he's saying that the stock price is too high of his own company, it's going to tank.
In my opinion, by the way, what is being reported about my company is much different than what's happening on the ground level. So it's not insider trading then, right, if people sell?
Huh.
Because he just told everybody.
How does that work?
What happens when the inside information gets the outside information? Is it still insider trading, or is it now that it's outside, it's everybody's trading? Elon Musk, did you hear what Elon Musk did?
Yeah, I saw the tweet.
It has dropped from...
What is he trying to do? Elon Musk is trying to fucking take his company right now?
It's dropped from 770 to 711 today. So
Elon Musk is not a guy you can just quarantine and think he's just going to survive. Can't lock that guy down. He's created like 4 different billion-dollar companies. Now he's trying to sabotage. By the way, don't ruin. I have a Tesla. I would like that thing to be able to get fixed because it's inevitably going to need it. Don't just bury the company, Elon.
Interesting strategy.
I had a rat that moved into my Tesla during the winter, by the way.
No.
I think it chewed up all of the wires. And it's a car that runs on wires.
How big is it?
I haven't found it. Son of a bitch smells, though. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure that Tesla's ever going to work again. That thing is dead.
It's all right. So's the stock.
You have the nicest collection of cars that just don't run.
It turns out whenever you're just one man, it's hard. It's hard to use all of them every single time. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I was not good with my money. I mean, what do you want from me?
It's part of the game.
I saw things I liked. Let me get it. By the way, I think it's the right move.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend everybody to do it. If you plan on making money forever, I would assume that you could do it. But yeah, I got a good collection of cars right now. Maybe I open McAfee car distribution center.
Oh.
Yeah, start selling them. Well, we gave away an Escalade 7-8 months ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was strictly because I had no more room.
Had to get it out.
You hang on to that Tesla, it might be the last one they got.
I mean, if we're doing giveaways, there is one car that you have that I definitely have the eyes on.
Oh, what's that?
The
Shelby.
Yeah.
Oh. She got turned on the other day.
She burst.
She does. She's very 600 and some horsepower.
How's she moving?
I just turned her on just to see if she was alive or not. I gave her a little.
Let's talk about that Bentley coupe.
Well, listen, the Bentley is probably going to get sold if I had to guess. I just looked on the blue book at what that thing's worth. I guess they're worth a lot of money.
Yes. And they don't decline very much.
Well,
depreciate, sorry.
Unless you just have it sit outside for a year.
Yeah, no one needs to know that.
Well, let's dump that, Foxy, I guess. All right, how many more phone calls do we need? We need 7?
We're at 13, so.
Well, let's go to Andy in Detroit. Andy, get to it, pal. What's going on?
Hey, 2 questions for you. One, what kind of vitamins are you on, thinking that Detroit will come even close to the NFC North?
Sativa.
And second, what are the Yinzers in the room feel it's okay with the Steelers giving up to get their hands on you?
Oh, that's interesting. Because Chris Ballard has said that a team, if they were to sign me, would have to trade for me. He's on record saying that. And I'm not 100% sure I'm going to make a run back at it. I'm definitely going to continue to kick.
What did Gronk go for?
Feels right.
Fourth round.
So probably a third.
Yeah. Let's go to Dwayne in Muncie. What's going on, Dwayne?
Hey, what's going on? Appreciate taking my call. Hey, a couple options. My son and I were thinking about where Aaron could possibly end up at. Option one, if he really wants to stick it to the Packers, he could, after 2 years, maybe go to Detroit because of Stafford with
Never
his
gonna happen.
No, they would have to trade him.
back and wife, his personal issues there. Could be set up there, or the Bears.
Never gonna
because they're kind of setting up right now with their draft.
I like where your head's at, Dwayne. We got to get back to a radio. A lot of options. They would have to trade him, though. I don't think they would trade within the division. We're back on radio now.
Hey, you, listen right now.
Jesus.
That's not me.
No. It's not. Hey, every time you get on the phone, what's the number one rule whenever you go on a microphone?
Speak loud.
Can't be soft. If you're soft, everybody thinks you're scared. Nothing you ever say will be taken seriously from that point forward. You did right there. Our ears got blown out, but it was for the right reason.
Everyone jumped. That was great. I want you to take a second. Look, Don, when was the last time you shaved up that junk? It's been a while. Don't lie. Let's take a second to thank our sponsor, Manscaped, for holding you accountable to get rid of the funk and shaving that junk.
Oh, yeah.
Manscaped is the only men's dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with the Perfect Package 3.0 Essential Kit. The perfect tools for the family jewels. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents or incidents. Millions of balls are about to be nickel-free thanks to Manscaped's advanced safe technology. When you purchase the new Perfect Package 3.0 at Manscaped.com, you get the biggest bang for the buck. Subscribers get a new replacement blade, blah, 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 $39 value, but 2 free gifts.
Wow.
The Shed travel bag
Blah, blah,
and
blah.
the patent high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped boxer briefs.
Nailed it.
I'm going to call to action.
Please do.
Get 20% off free shipping with the code America at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped.com. And use code America. Your part of your body, your balls will thank you.
That boy Z. Tell you what, hygiene diner. Don't want to nickel.
Nope.
Yourself.
Nope.
incidents, accidents, all the dents are the same for me. Shout out to Manscaped. We are down to what, 6 more callers we need to get to?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Andrew, let's go.
5.
Hey, how we doing, boys?
5.
Hey, with the upcoming Super Bowl being down there in Tampa, who would you bet on a hypothetical Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, and not kicking or punting for Tampa, because obviously you take the Bucs.
All right, thank you, Andrew, for the call. Just got a little piece of information. Apparently, we only have 18 balls in here. We don't even have 20 balls in here. So 2 people who are going to be a part of the 20 won't even have a representative in the thing, and they don't even know it. But that's not on us. That's on them. Should have been a different number called. We had 20 at one point on this thing.
Where was Andrew from?
He said if you were to pick Chiefs or Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, who would you pick? That Chiefs team, I feel like, is going to be pretty unbelievable. But you got Tom Brady. They have Patrick Mahomes, though. I don't know. I bet you that's who the NFL is hoping, by the way, is in the Super Bowl. I'll have to see how it plays out. Let's go to Jeff in Minnesota. What's up, dude?
Hey, Pat. Thanks for having me on. I'm enjoying the 1,000.
Yeah. Jeff is on.
Feel Good Friday. I'm listening to it on my Raycon E25. They're green, half price.
Maybe give him 2 spots. Hey, Jeff, I love when you call in, pal. My ears just get seduced by the deep voice of yours. You get it. Just go ahead, Jeff.
My question is basically you kind of went through it with Peyton and Andrew Luck, different situation, but how's that locker room in Green Bay now? Are they for Aaron and for Love, or how is that divided?
Great question. I would assume it'll be Aaron Rodgers probably has his close friends on the team who feel the exact same way Aaron feels. But once you get in that locker room, you just got to go to work. I mean, I assume Jordan Love isn't going to be trying to be leading a revolt in there. He very much understands the entire situation. That's going to be Aaron Rodgers' team, even though LaFleur allegedly doesn't want that to happen and Gutekunst doesn't want that to happen. I think all signs point to that being Aaron Rodgers' team until he chooses that not to be his team. And by the way, that's the right decision because your starting quarterback is the guy. He's got to touch the ball every single play. He's also the guy that sets the tone for everybody else. Aaron Rodgers will be that guy. I don't think Jordan Love's going to be there, but Jordan will be able to learn from Aaron on how to be that guy whenever he eventually takes over the Green Bay Packers, probably here in a couple of years. Ain't that right, Ty?
Yeah, we'll see. It should be like what year? Well, actually, I don't know. The Packers probably let him go before he even gets an opportunity.
Ryan in New York, what's going on, pal?
Jeff getting 2 balls.
Nah,
Pitter patter, let's get at her, boys.
Hey, Pitter.
Vitamins in the AM. Happy Feel Good Friday, gents.
Pitter
There's noise
patter,
around the league or the social media right now that hockey might make a comeback. The most electric time of the year is the playoff time. We should be in the smack dab in the middle of it.
Well, okay, Ryan, great. I've heard some rumblings about hockey. I guess there is a plan in place amongst the players on what they would agree to doing. The NHL just has to agree to it. We've heard a couple of things. We don't know it 100% the case. Nick hosts the podcast called That's Hockey Talk. Is there any hockey talk to come out of this?
Possibly some informal skates coming up, maybe some training camps. We don't know yet. We're just hearing some rumblings from some leaks. We don't know.
But there is a chance, though, that they have to abide by the same guidelines that the NBA gave to all their players. So although this is rumblings and leaks that there could be some informal skates, and then I guess allegedly through the summer playing some hockey, which has been talked about amongst the hockey players from what we've been told, I assume that the memo and the guidelines to get in the building and get training is going to be in-depth, just like the NBA one is. Because we heard all those stories. We heard the headlines that were like, the NBA is opening up facilities for its players, and we got excited. And then Shams Charania from The Athletic says, to get in, there's a lot of things that have to happen first. I'd assume it's the same for NHL, but I can't stress enough. We will learn a lot by how Texas does this weekend and the next week. Texas is taking the lead on this thing.
Come on, Texas. Come on.
Let's go to Matt in Michigan. How many more people do we need?
Him and then one more.
Oh, Matt, you just snuck in there from the Mitten State. What's going on, pal?
Not much. Happy $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway, baby.
Yeah, if he gets that wrong, we have to hang up on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Have to hang up on him if he gets it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Question about the Lions and their drafting. I wonder, when is it time to start looking for a Jordan Love situation to kind of be the Matty Stafford replacement? I'm not calling for it right now.
It sure sounds like you called for it.
He's just asking a question.
Matt just called for it. He said he wants Matt Stafford the hell out of there. Let's get Jordan Love in there.
Take it easy, Matt. He's only 31.
Let's go to Nick in Des Moines, Iowa. Nick, what's going on, pal?
Back's not 31.
Not too bad. I just came up with a thought after listening to that Lombardi conversation that if you were to get an offer from Monday Night Football and a Super Bowl contending team like the Chiefs or the Bucs, which one would you take?
what would your thoughts on that be? And also, could you guys add some baseball tee style T-shirts in the store, and I'll be all over those.
Yeah.
Good old Iowa, right
Are you
there.
talking about those 3/4 length things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I've owned a couple of those. I always think I'm going to like them much more than I actually do whenever I put them on. And I think it's because I'm built like a barrel.
Could be.
Yep.
You like those shirts?
I do.
How is that a baseball shirt, by the way, when it cuts off your elbow whenever you are throwing?
It's not super tight.
It's loosey
You can still slide, head first, and you're not
Mark
going
McGuire, Sammy Sosa.
Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa wore those. Why are those? Why is that considered a baseball shirt?
Cover up with tattoos.
I don't know if that's why, but
They don't like tattoos in baseball?
Not for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Well, he just did something bad. I guess can't bring him up. again.
ham bone.
Josh?
Yeah.
He was addicted to tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
You meet anybody that's addicted to tattoos, have a conversation.
Yeah, it wasn't the only thing he was addicted to.
Take it easy.
But
Josh,
I'm just saying.
He said it. We thought it.
Since. All right, so we have
20. I
we have
can't
20
remember
calls.
his name, though. The last guy.
What was that
I
guy's
got it.
name?
It was
Nick, Des Moines, Iowa.
Nick in Des Moines, Iowa. The question was, would you rather be in the Monday Night Football booth or on a team that could potentially go for the Super Bowl? Let me make this clear. If you get a chance to do Monday Night Football, you do Monday Night Football every single time you can. 12.5 million people watching. Biggest game of the week. A little bit of a mini Super Bowl every single week. That's something you do. Now, granted, I'm going to be 33 tomorrow. I had just completed my Jesus year, my 33rd trip around the sun.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I would be the youngest person in that booth forever, right? 33? There's no way there's been a 33-year-old person.
I don't think so.
That'd be quite an aggressive decision. Plus, with the fact that I'm pretty much known as an internet guy. If they made that decision, that would be a legendary decision.
Also, how disappointed would you be if you went back and got beaten like the AFC Championship or the NFC Championship?
All right. I mean,
or the Super Bowl.
What did I punt bad too? Did we have bad field position? Is that why
No,
we
you
lost?
played great. So
Oh,
let's
so I
even
played
drive
good.
it in more.
I
yeah.
played. By the way, that was a little bit upsetting. You have some of your best games and games that you lose. It's like, well, I'm not allowed to be happy because we lost, and that kind of eats at you a little bit.
This is exciting, by the way.
What's that?
This is exciting.
This is big news here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 18 balls, 20 callers. Somebody's going to win $1,000 on this $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway. We covered everything we were supposed to cover, and now on this May 1st, it's the first of the month.
It's the first of the
Wake up. Wake up. The winner of our $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway is ball number 16, who is
Andrew Buckcall. I don't
The
know.
Chiefs Bucks. Andrew, he was the Chiefs Bucks.
Andrew is the winner of $1,000. Where'd he call from? Connor, do you know this man's information at all?
I do not know this man's information. I do have his email, but
Okay,
I do
then.
not know where he called from.
Okay, so we will email Andrew, let him know he won $1,000 in the $1,000 phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway. I hope that call was worth it, Dan. Did that call stink or was it good?
I think it was after Dwayne, which wasn't great. So
Well, Shuey was after Dewey.
Yeah,
Shuey was after Dewey.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was confusing Dewey and Dwayne.
You just kind of took a shot there at Dewey.
Andrew from Ohio, I believe.
Andrew was from Ohio. Is that accurate?
I believe so. I believe he is a student over at Toledo.
The Toledo, Ohio.
Excuse me, Kent State.
Oh, okay. What do you think he's going to spend his $1,000 on? The bar when he gets back?
Literally the only name on the list without a
He's
location.
probably going to be on that website you guys talk about.
Oh, OnlyFans.
Fans only or whatever.
Good for him.
Hey, good for him. $1,000. Do whatever he wants to do with it.
Yeah.
The first ever winner of the $1,000 Phonathon Feel Good Friday giveaway, Andrew from Ohio. Congrats to him. We've made it through week 7 of nothing to talk about somehow. I have no idea.
it's been?
I think so. I think it's been
7 weeks?
6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been a
Long time without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. We're talking about freedom there, sports. We're talking about all those things. Man, what a dumb show. I have no idea why you watch or listen, but But that was a genuine feeling towards sports and freedom.
Yeah.
Texas is giving it a go this weekend. Let's hope they have some success. Because if not, I feel like we're going to be doing this
Get comfy.
for some time. This has been the Pat McAfee Show. McAfee and Hawk is live at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will see you then. This has been May 1st. I hope you have the greatest day of your life.